Caitlin, are you all set with Miss Bryant?
Yeah, yep,
Okay, thank you.
certainly. I have the plea forms. Did you want them, Mary Ann?
You know what? I'll come and get them, sure.
Okay.
You're so funny. Sure.
This is 22HR 11079 AOT. This is Huron Township versus Bryant. Ma'am, would you state your name for me, please?
Dejanay Bryant.
Thank you. Ms. Bryant, the way the court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ma'am, have you had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Foley Carter, the prosecutor for Huron Township?
Yes.
Ms. Bryant, there is an agreement in the file indicate or a plea offer that you'll be pleading guilty to count 2, allowing an unlawful driver to drive, and that the original charge of driving while license suspended would be dismissed. Was that your understanding?
Yes.
Ma'am, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Ma'am, you understand if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses against yourself or see and cross-examine the witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ma'am, is it true that on October 30th, 2022 in Huron Township, you allowed an unlawful driver to drive?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Foley Carter?
Satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bryant, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlawful driver to drive and will dismiss the original charge of driving on a license suspended, revoked, or denied. Have you since cleared up your license issue?
Well, I'm working on it right now.
Okay. Ma'am, the court will impose the following. There is a fine of $100, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's a $50 show cause fee, $50 bench warrant fee, $50 in mandatory state costs, $20 fund fee, $15 administrative fee. That's $460. You've already posted a bond of $150. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that balance?
Yes.
Well, let me see if there's somebody. I don't see that we have a collection agent on this morning. So Ms. Bryant, what I would need you to do is please call the court, ask to speak to someone in the collections department. They can set you on the payment plan, or you can go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. Click on that and it'll allow you to submit a request for a payment plan. But please do that sooner rather than later, okay?
Okay.
Anything else this morning, ma'am?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bryant. You're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Dubin.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Have you spoken to Ms. Foley Carter already?
I have, Your Honor. I believe we do have a resolution that we're ready to put on the record.
This is 23 HR 12244. This is Huron Township versus Stewart. Your appearances, please.
Caitlin Foley Carter for Huron Township, Your Honor.
Attorney Maxwell Dubin, P number 86012 on behalf of Mr. Stewart. Your Honor, I'm respectfully waiving his appearance today.
Thank you. Today was the day and time scheduled for the pre-hearing. How are we proceeding, Mr. Dubin?
Your Honor, Ms. Carter has offered a amended charge of double parking, which my client intends to avail himself to, and I do have authority to enter a plea responsible on his behalf.
Thank you. Mr. Dubin, I will accept the plea of responsible to double parking on behalf of your client. The offer in the file indicates there will be a fine of $200. Is your client able to pay that within the next 5 days?
5 days should be fine, Your Honor.
Thank you. 5 days, $200, double parking. Anything else, Mr. Dubin?
No, just hope you and your staff be safe and have a wonderful day. Roads are bad.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Bye.
Good morning, Mr. Nunley.
Morning, Judge. How are you?
I am super. How have you been?
Not too bad. Staying busy, trying.
So Mary Ann, I can make you laugh.
You usually do. Let's hear it.
So I'm sitting in my office minding my own business. And somebody comes in and announces that they found a reasonable flight to San Jose, and then they can drive down to Santa Clara.
What?
And that they found tickets that are $700, I think, for the
What?
game.
Oh my gosh. Is it
Yes.
gonna happen?
No, absolutely not. I just think it's funny that that's something that you think you can just slide by.
Like, hey, how's your
And that's
day
when I,
for dinner? You know, oh, hey, by the way.
that's how it came up. It was like, by the way. And that's when I said, go to bed.
It's got, that has, that can't be there must be other people that are really doing that.
There are.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why I said, absolutely not. But I'm guessing that's not the end of the conversation, so.
Yeah, it's only Tuesday. Are there tickets available for the game?
Yes,
Oh, boy.
yes. I've seen some as high as $6,000.
Oh, and you know what? Someone's gonna pay that. Someone will pay that.
You better sit on the sofa and turn on the television.
Get your Afghan out.
Exactly. Go to the bar and watch it, or go somewhere. Some friend of yours, I said that. There are plenty of people doing it, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's almost a sin. Hey, does he have his buddy over on Sundays that he goes to the game with? Do they watch
Mm-mm.
it? Oh no.
No, he watches by himself so he can yell at the television,
Gotta
but I
be
know they talk and text and everything else, so. But they sold out Ford Field already. You know, they're showing the game there on Sunday. They sold out in less than 24 hours.
So wait, the game isn't there, but they're gonna go and like watch it on big screens and sit and stand in the stands?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez. What's
No,
gonna be?
listen, I'm sure that the decibel level will be just as high as it was this past Sunday.
Oh my gosh. What happens down on the field? Nothing?
I don't know. I would assume there would be, some kind of something. That would be a good
Yeah.
time to have some of the local youth leagues come and scrimmage or something.
Yeah. Is he going?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, not that I know of.
If he can't go to California, he just might.
Well, what about Vegas? And that's when you just have to nudge the door closed. These are 23HR 12501 A and B, Huron Township versus Omari Boone. Would you please state your names for the record?
Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
Omari Boone.
Thank you. Mr. Boone, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Sir, you've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Foley Carter.
Yes.
Ma'am, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, Mr. Boone did have a valid driver's license at the time of the stop, so we will be moving to dismiss the no ops on person, and he does intend on pleading responsible to the impeding traffic conviction.
Thank you. Mr. Boone, you were able to hear Ms. Foley Carter just now?
Yes.
And sir, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying something else, Mr. Boone.
Oh, no, just yes.
Sir, thank you. It's your intention to plead responsible this morning to the impeding traffic from December 2nd, 2023?
Yes.
Sir, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the civil infraction B file of impeding traffic, impose a fine of $180, and dismiss the misdemeanor case of failing to display a valid license. Mr. Boone, do you need more than 5 days to pay the $180?
No.
Is there anything else this morning, Mr. Boone?
Just how to pay is
You can go, you can go onto the court's website. There is a payment button on the top right-hand corner, I think it is, online payment. You can bring it into the court. I don't know that you necessarily want to drive from Lansing for that. Or you can mail it in, but online is preferred.
okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, thanks.
Have a good day, sir. You're free to go.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Mr. Simon.
Good morning. Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm down with COVID, but I'm still able to speak.
Is your client with you or are you expecting her separately?
Your Honor, both of us were in Judge Oakley's waiting room for over about a half an hour. She's coming in, we just found out we had to switch, so I think she's entering the meeting presently.
I wonder if this is her, Marianne, in the clerk waiting room. It's a weird name.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm gonna jump in there.
I appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Simon, did you have the chance to speak to Ms. Foley Carter this morning?
I did, Your Honor, thank you.
These are 23HR 12558A and B, Huron Township versus Victoria Davidson. May I have your appearances, please?
For the record, Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Ms. Davidson. And Ms. Davidson, would you please state your name?
Victoria Lynn Davidson.
Thank you, Ms. Davidson. Mr. Simon, today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment, pretrial, and the pre-hearing in these matters. How are we proceeding, sir?
Well, Your Honor, we have reached a resolution of the case.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a plea sheet in front of you. My client's going to plead to the amended charge or a reduced charge of impaired driving. The intoxicated driving charge will be dismissed. In addition, Your Honor, the township's dismissing the civil infraction.
Mr. Simon, I do have the plea sheet, but sometimes things change between the sheet I received and you speaking
Right.
with the prosecutor. That being the case, Ms. Davidson, would you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you, ma'am. You may put your hand down. Ma'am, you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Simon and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And ma'am, it's your understanding this morning that you will be tendering a plea of guilty to the added count of operating while impaired and that the original speeding ticket and operating while intoxicated will be dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts that plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, Your Honor.
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Davidson, is it true that on November 18, 2023 in Huron Township, you operated a motor vehicle while you were impaired by some intoxicant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Simon?
I am, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Davidson, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while impaired. The original misdemeanor charge and the civil infraction will be dismissed. Because this is a drinking and driving offense, ma'am, the next step in these proceedings is that the case will be referred to the probation department. They will be in contact with you by phone and email. There will be forms for you to complete. They will schedule an interview with you, develop a sentence recommendation, and have you return to this courtroom for sentence to be imposed. Mr. Davidson, Mr. Simon, because this was the first appearance, there had not previously been bond set. We're setting your bond, Ms. Davidson, at 5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what I need you to do is continue to participate in these proceedings until this case is resolved in its entirety.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was there anything else, Mr. Simon?
Your Honor, I don't know if it'll influence when you set the sentencing date or the probation department, but my client was screened, assessed, and completed aftercare. We'll get that to your probation department. I told my client they may want her to still supplement, but just if that helps the court setting the next, or the clerk set the next date.
That will help. I will make a notation in the file for the probation agent assigned to courtroom number 1 is Anthony Grant. So he will see that she's already began the process to receive assistance and support in addressing whatever issue arose on November 18th. And she's able to provide, or through your office, Mr. Simon, provide documentation to the probation department. We will take that into consideration when entering, when setting this matter for sentencing. Is there
Thank
anything
you.
else, Mr. Simon?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Davidson, you have a good day. Mr. Simon, please feel better soon.
Appreciate that
Thank
very
you.
much.
Mr. Mack, it appears that your attorney is in with the prosecutor. As soon as they come out, I'll get your case called, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, Mr. Morton.
Good morning, Your Honor.
The case was scheduled at 9 o'clock. I wasn't going to call until closer to 9:15 unless there's some update you have.
No, Your Honor, I know I've not seen fellow counsel. I know there's outstanding discovery. We've had some communications. So if we can just simply wait till 9:15. I'll even send the opposing attorney an email to make sure that they're aware of the hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh,
He's
Mr.
here.
Morton spoke him right up. Mr. McCourty, would you like the opportunity to speak to Mr. Morton? Or are you ready for the case to be called?
I would like an opportunity to speak with him briefly.
Absolutely. No, Marianne, I have no idea why there's a landlord-tenant case scheduled in the middle of a criminal docket.
It's okay. At least you can handle that. At least it's not a crazy docket.
Well, I had one job this morning, which was to look at a jury trial date for them, but hopefully the discovery will alleviate that need. Mr. Mays, are you ready with Mr. Mack?
Yes, Your Honor, we're just asking for a new date.
This is 23 HR 1111480I, Huron Township versus Donald Mack.
William Mays on behalf of Mr. Mack. At this time, Judge, we're unable to get the case resolved. I'd like an opportunity to talk to the officer. If we could zoom in with the officer so I could try to persuade him to persuade the prosecutor to do what I'm asking her to do without setting it for an actual formal hearing, I would appreciate that.
So what are we calling it?
Another pre-formal thingy that the officer would zoom into.
Did you make that request of Ms. Foley Carter to have the officer present?
And
Okay.
I'll simply call down there if nothing else. So
February 8th, Judge, at 8:40.
8:40?
Okay, I
Back
can do
here on
that.
Zoom, back in number 1. Anything else, Mr. Mays?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Mack, that concludes this matter. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Thank you. These are this is 23 HR 10628OM, Huron Township versus Jeremy Kowalski. Sir, would you state your name for the record?
Jeremy Kowalski.
Thank you. And this is 23 HR 10629OM, Huron Township versus Jill Kowalski. Ma'am, would you state your name for the record, please?
Jill Kowalski.
Thank you. Mr. Kowalski, the way the court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Same question, Ms. Kowalski, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You have both had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor. Ms. Foley Carter, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, this matter will be set for a jury trial with a final pretrial.
A jury trial or a final pretrial?
A final pretrial with a jury trial.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Mr. Kowalski, is that correct?
Yes.
Ms. Kowalski, is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Kowalski, is discovery complete in this matter?
I'm sorry?
Is discovery complete? Have you received everything you need from the prosecutor?
Yes, I believe so. Yep. Yes.
Same question, Ms. Kowalski, is discovery complete? Have you received everything you need from the prosecutor?
Yes.
That final pretrial date will be
February 8th at 8:50.
February 8th at 8:50 a.m. back here on Zoom, back in number 1. If the matter is not resolved on February 8th, we will be looking to schedule the jury trial approximately 3 weeks later. Is there anything else, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Kowalski?
No, thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Kowalski?
No, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes this matter. I will see you on February 8th. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Marianne, we might look to do the jury trial that following week. I'm thinking out loud, which means I'll have to talk to Judge Oakley beforehand to schedule on his week. This is 2301309 LT. This is Holiday Woods versus Johnny Ellis. May I have your appearances, please?
Your Honor, for the record, Attorney Ian Morton of Pallets Law on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your Honor, Jay McCurgy, P83218 on behalf of the defendant.
Thank you. Today was the day and time set for the
I believe this was,
motion date,
I believe this-
pre-trial status
of-
conference. Go ahead, Mr. Morton.
Okay, I was gonna say, I believe, yeah, this was also the status and motion hearing date. I know that the scheduling order took a little while to kind of get processed and get through. And the way my office looks at it is the court speaks to its order, so we waited till that order was formally entered before we issued the discovery. It was issued, so the discovery got issued less than about a week after, was it the scheduling order was entered? So right now, I think we're about a week or so, was it after when the discovery was due, maybe a little less than that. I spoke to opposing counsel. What we'd like to do is, I'm gonna extend the timeline to provide him the opportunity to respond to that discovery by the end of this month. We'd like to adjourn this settlement conference and date a month in total. And then we've also had some additional discussions on settlement and totality of this case, which we think is pretty productive. And the hope is that maybe within the next week, we might hopefully either know we're going to be able to get this thing resolved or kind of move forward from that point, Your Honor.
Is that your understanding, Mr. McCurgy?
That is my understanding, Your Honor. Thank you.
And my office can prepare was it an amended, was it a supplemental scheduling order, I guess, Your Honor, to be able to submit to the court to provide for that information.
If we're just adjourning it, I'll have court staff do it downstairs. We're just calling it adjourned pre-trial / motion date. If we put it out a month, we actually have criminal docket that day. Mary Ann, I'm looking at a little bit longer. I'm looking at maybe February 27th.
Okay. Let me check.
I don't see anything, but gentlemen, is that a good day for you? Maybe in the morning on the 27th of February?
That works, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. That works for me too.
Yep, you're good.
February the 27th at 9 a.m. Back on Zoom. It's the only thing that I think we'll have scheduled. That doesn't mean that you need to take all morning. I'm just letting you know if you have motions, that would be a good time to have them filed. Mr. Morton, is there anything else?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. McCurgy?
Nothing else, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll have the civil department mail out notice of that adjourned date. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You too. Stay safe, Your Honor.
welcome.
Thank you.
This is 23HR130420M Huron Township versus Daniel Hammer. Please state your names for the record.
Daniel Hammer
the second.
Sorry, Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. The way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Sir, you've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Foley Carter, the prosecutor.
Yes.
Ma'am, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the people will be amending the misdemeanor livestock at large to a civil infraction livestock at large.
Sir, do you have any objection to this case being amended to a civil infraction livestock at large?
No.
And you wish to plead responsible to that civil infraction?
Yes.
Sir, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the civil infraction livestock at large and dismiss the misdemeanor livestock at large. Ms. Foley Carter, Mr. Hammond, was there any conversation about fines in this matter?
There was not. I leave it to the court.
No.
Thank you. Sir, the court will impose a fine of $150 in this matter. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No.
Do you have anything further, sir?
No, I don't think so. I would have to come down there and pay it.
You can come in person and pay it, or you may pay it online.
Okay.
Other than that, sir, you're free to go. You have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There was 23HR12537 A and B. These were Huron Township versus James Hope. Case was scheduled this morning at 9 a.m. It's now 9:28 by the court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. Based on the defendant's failure to appear, the court will enter a default as to the A file civil infraction, failing to obey a stop sign, and set the A file, the driving on license, suspended for show cause. Is there anything else in this matter, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes this matter. This court's next scheduled case is not until 11 a.m. Mr. Nunley, the case at 11 is scheduled for trial. The defendant has previously waived the right to have MIDC representation. I'm not sure if your office would pick up a case at trial should she change her mind. So I'm not sure if you want to wait around or log off and come back closer to 11.
No, I would prefer not to have an unpaid vacation from the State Bar of Michigan by doing a trial with an hour notice.
I guess if she were to join or appear this morning and wanted representation, we would adjourn the matter. I would not make any request of you to try to proceed in a case that you knew nothing about.
I did that once with Judge Green back before COVID. Like, I was house counsel and she said, Mr. Nunley, you're going to sit here while he does the trial. And I ended up representing him throughout the entire thing. He did an opening statement and he stood up and the first words out of his mouth was, "Ladies and gentlemen, I did it." And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I still got him.
Thank you, Mr. Nunley. Thank you, sir.
Well,
Mr. Ellis.
If you need me,
sorry.
Judge, just call me and I'll sign in for the person on 11. Does that work for you?
Yes, thank you.
All right. You guys have a good day.
You're right.
You too.
Hi.
Mr. Ellis.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm good, sir. Your case has already been called. Your attorney was present. We've adjourned it over to February the 27th at 9 a.m. back on Zoom, back at the same Zoom ID.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I just never got a notice from the court to appear or anything like that. I had to call the court to get the number and whatnot to get on. So I do apologize. Normally I would be on. I've been on every single time before, and this is just one of those freak moments where that happened. But I appreciate that info, and I will mark that down in my notes, and I will see you at the end of February. You said February 27th?
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Yes, sir.
Yeah. February 27th, 9 a.m. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, bye-bye. I'll see you back here a little bit before 11, Ms. Foley Carter.
Yep, I'll be here. Thank you.
Judge, do you want me to take us down?
Probably.